All right, y'all, we're back for good
yeah.
this time. We our router decided to turn off
Yeah.
like midstream,
I
so
think it overheated.
I think it had something to do with talking about Jamie Dimon and
Yeah.
some of the stuff we're going to be talking about. Um, but let's get right back into the article. Here we go. And this is on Blacklist News. J.P. Morgan government must seize private land from citizens to fight climate change. So, isn't it great how the technocratic oligarchy and the multi billionaire bankers say government's got to steal other people's stuff in order to fight climate change? And it's always these like huge, um, uh, gigantic type of incredibly impossible things to actually, instead of like just doing stuff, something that's worthy of a cause or something. JP Morgan Chase president and CEO Jamie Dimon has issued a statement calling on the federal government to begin seizing privately owned property from citizens and repurposing the land to fight climate change. Multi-billionaire Dimon, the former head of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, insists that governments will need, not just the U.S., all right, y'all, governments will need to seize private land for the creation of more green energy production sites. Diamond made the call in an extensive letter to shareholders of America's largest bank, published this week. The letter accompanied the bank's annual report for 2020. Diamond claims there is a need for affordable energy immediately. So if you steal everybody's stuff, all of a sudden energy becomes affordable. Here's what's kind of more paradoxical. Like if they steal all your stuff, you will need less energy because you won't be producing anything. So then there's that. Really, all they want to do is steal all your stuff, okay? While discussing the war in Ukraine, ride that pony. While a banker discusses his banker's war, he then discusses climate change. Two separate hoaxes to bilk everyone out of billions and trillions of dollars. Diamond declared that the world must move away from fossil fuels such as oil and gas. Well, what Diamond needs to do, Diamond needs to get on his little EV broomstick, this little financial witch needs to get on his electric powered broomstick and fly
Oh
over
man.
to India and China and tell them that they can't buy oil from Russia because the BRICS nations are going to be productive and producing and growing their infrastructure and actually producing stuff because they're using petroleum based products instead of this green unicorn fart, machination of somebody's imagination. We may even need to evoke eminent domain. We simply are not getting the adequate investments fast enough for grid, solar, wind, and pipeline initiatives. They're not getting the investments fast enough because these are not viable investments that create a rate of return. So nobody wants to invest in them. There's not enough ESG. There's not enough Transformers and Decepticons, right? They all want to like rebrand themselves as Decepticon loving, and they're all about the Transformers and all that stuff, right? Yeah, nobody wants to invest in any of their trash, and it doesn't produce anything, and it creates no rate of return. Hey, y'all, comment down below in the comment section. Let us know how you like our new camera setup. We got a rolling 3 camera setup. We're just trying to add value and continue to up our game and up the quality. I am purposely wearing my compost, Go Green Compost a Globalist t-shirt in honor of the very illustrious Jamie Dimon. Let's see. He continued mentioning the Inflation Reduction Act. Now you're going to see how they stack all this stuff. Now he's urging for governments around the world, but you can see where they've snuck in a little. It holds the potential to unlock over 1 trillion in clean tech development, and that they need to be implemented effectively, like all these other great green projects, like that $1 billion salt solar project that
Yeah,
we
for
covered.
real.
Yeah, that's so effective. Yeah. If effective means you needed to waste it and it all needs to end up in J.P. Morgan's coffers, then that's probably the case. That's the that's the postmodern, post-truth definition of effective.
That's true.
Diamond called for the cooperation of governments, businesses, and non-government organizations to create policy. Oh, he's talking about the technocracy, y'all, because he's talking about non-government organizations creating policy changes that comprehensively address fundamental issues that are holding us back. Yeah, like the laws of nature. Okay, the laws of nature that prove that solar and wind and all of these hokey green things don't work on a large scale. They work great on smaller scales.
To like run like a little water pump or your well.
Yeah, there's no
or
EV powered D10s, y'all.
No.
Nobody's doing
Excavators,
major,
no.
massive. Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Won't happen.
There's not going to be any EV powered 16 wheelers. I mean, they'll go, 5 miles and all that stuff, but it ain't going to happen. All right, let's see. Diamond says that as a result of green energy investment, the private sector will see growth in investment and job openings over the next decade. Well, if that was true, he wouldn't have to ask the governments to steal stuff and unlock $1 trillion worth of gov bucks. If this was viable and this was real and it was a worthy cause,
trillion.
The investment
That's
money would
nuts.
flow into it. There's so much churn and slush floating around with all the 45 quadrillion of QE48 going on. All right, but the money ain't coming in fast enough, and that probably they want to. There's a reason that they want to speed this up too before they CBDC. This has something to do with churning more cash before they convert it over. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Diamond is due to soon be interviewed under oath over his bank relationship with his former client, deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. According to Brad Edwards, a lawyer representing the woman who claimed were sexually abused by Epstein, the deposition is expected in early May. The women are suing J.P. Morgan for allegedly enabling the financier's sex trafficking. Epstein had been a J.P. Morgan client from 2000 to 13. He remained a client of the bank for 5 years after he pleaded guilty to a child sex charge in Florida. All right, and we'll skip over here to this CNBC article. J.P. Morgan Chase can be sued by Virgin Islands over Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking claims. A New York federal judge ruled that the U.S. Virgin Islands and a woman who accused the late investor Jeffrey Epstein of abuse can proceed with lawsuits claiming Morgan Chase knowingly benefited from participating in Epstein's scheme. The judge also allowed parts of a separate similar lawsuit by Epstein's accusers against Deutsche Bank to proceed. Epstein, a wealthy former friend of the Orange Man and Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew. Wow, what a nice cast of characters. Epstein didn't kill himself in a Manhattan jail cell in 2019 while awaiting trial on federal trafficking charges. So there you go. So the critter, the multi-billion-dollar banking critter that is telling the governments of the world that they need to steal your property was knowingly benefited from trafficking of human beings. But what's more important is saving my planet and green energy and securing more investments through the taxation, through the theft of the taxpayer. Taxation is theft, y'all.
That is true.
So that's why I wore my Go Green Compost to Globalist. This is a value for value proposition. And if you do enjoy our content and like what we're doing here on the homestead, we do kindly ask you to go over to TheTexasBoys.com.
Yeah.
Check out some of our awesome
And then
products.
also, since they want to steal our land, also, that's why I wore this shirt. We will own nothing and be happy. And we will eat bugs.
You will eat the bugs. Signed, Uncle Klaus.
So it's only fitting. So.
Yes, we try to keep it fitting, keep it real. We do know that God is in control, God's on the throne, and we serve him, and he is coming back. I believe he's coming back very soon. And I don't know if any of y'all have read the book of Revelation, but when he comes back, he's not happy.
Really?
Okay?
No way.
And it's very interesting. I was just reading in Revelation, and it says about what these merchants of the earth, it specifically mentions what they did to creation. So not just what they do in their trafficking stuff and all that stuff, not just trafficking in the accursed thing, but trafficking in human beings, right? And how they monetize that, but also how they damage the creation.
But I thought we ended slavery, though. Didn't we do that?
Well, we only did it as a geopolitical means of leverage.
Oh.
Right, and that's only to supposedly sequester votes from certain people. That stuff we can't talk about, like reality, truth, and facts. Those kind of things we can't really talk about. We just have to talk about talking points and platitudes and postmodern, post-truth ideology. Jamie Dimon is a super villain, ultra criminal. And of course, yeah, he was the Federal Reserve chairman for New York. And of course, and he was I think he was in Barry Soetoro's. He was in Barry Soetoro's cabinet.
We could do that. We could drop off the YouTubes and go over on Rumble and talk about everything, dude.
Let's do that.
All right, y'all. So everybody, just wanted to say once again for everybody that's clicked on Carlos, everybody, thank y'all for doing that since it went down and being faithful and coming back on. So we're going to go ahead and jump onto Rumble.
We're going to jump onto Rumble.
And then we can say all the truthful stuff.
We were running this on the backup channel anyway, but let's we're gonna turn off them.
See y'all over there.
We'll see y'all over at Rumble. You can
on
check
the
the
Rumble
link down below.